of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus regular city council meeting for Tuesday, May 29th, 2018. A roll call vote was taken earlier this evening at the special meeting at 6:45 p.m. and all council members are present, so we do have a quorum this evening.
Thank you.
Number 1 is agenda. Number 2 is minutes. 3, 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A is the clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 18-10, and 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved to approve the agenda.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo. This is for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held May 14th, 2018.
So moved for May 14th, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held May 14th, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2B is approval of the minutes from the special joint meeting open session with the Planning Commission to discuss Vining Road Development District Economic Development Strategy Plan.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for approval of the minutes from the special meeting held May 14, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from the special joint meeting, open session with the Planning Commission to discuss that Vining Road Development District Economic Development Strategy Plan. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Abstain.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
The chair votes yes, motion approved.
3A is petitioner, and there are no petitioners this evening, so that takes us to the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. First, we had a meeting tonight at 6:45, was an open study session, and it's for the proposed addendum to the Romulus Ordinance, Section 36-357, entitled Notification of Carrying a Concealed Weapon and Courts and Law Enforcement Management Information System, which is CLEMIS. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Abdo.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to honor one of our residents. I would like to wish a happy 90th birthday to one of the matriarchs of Romulus, Miss Mary Ann Risner. She is a lifelong resident of Romulus. She graduated from Romulus, the class of 1947. She is a lifelong member of St. Aloysius Church. If you want to wish her a happy birthday, you'll be able to find her any morning walking the track at our very own rack.
I'll support that, and I got a couple comments, too.
Okay. It was motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. This was for the 90th birthday for Ms. Reckner. Discussion, Mr. Wadsworth.
And just a couple comments about Mary Ann, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. Wonderful.
Thank
Sweet.
you.
Well, she's not always that kind, but very nice. Very, very nice lady. Wonderful woman. Wonderful. She can tell you what she thinks.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. It's been any other? Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to say happy birthday, Mary Ann, and thanks for the hug. I feel so wonderful because she doesn't hug people, but she allows me to hug her. And I love that. I've known her for many, many years. Happy birthday again.
Yes, I also like to extend a happy birthday to Ms. Reckner. Congratulations, 90 years young. Thank you. Okay, I guess that concludes, I don't have anything.
Get a vote?
It was a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Memorial resolution.
Birthday
holiday.
resolution.
The holiday got me off.
Birthday resolution. Birthday resolution.
Yeah, our birthday resolution. Let's go, Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Webb? Ms.
Yes.
Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Now that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a,
Well, one more thing, excuse me, tonight. I have yield the floor to Ms. Talley at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to make a resolution in memory of Reverend William D. Billy Barlow, the father of Councilwoman Eva Webb, who passed here several weeks ago. So we just want to, I would like to, last week, want to make that motion for a memorial resolution, please.
Support.
Okay, been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for a memorial resolution. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
yes.
Mr. Williams? Mr. Wadsworth, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, with discussion.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
I would just like to say, thank my colleagues for their support. Thank all of you who sent text messages and made the phone calls. And a very, very special thank you to Stan and Ellen Bragg. She called me, she texted me, she was in constant contact with me the whole time that I was gone. And I really appreciate it because I didn't expect this. I really didn't. And the mayor and his staff, the clerk's staff, and the treasurer, I just, it was just beyond me because it happened and I was there. I was able to be there the one day before he passed. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. It was a long trip, but through prayer, we made it through. And I thank everyone again.
Thank you, Ms. Webb, and the chair votes yes, motion approved.
Amen.
Now that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Chair votes yes. Motion approved, and thank you. At this time, Chair would like to recognize our Chief of Staff, Ms. Julie Walkerton, just representing the mayor tonight.
Good evening, council and audience. The mayor did ask me to present his report this evening, and I should mention that he had asked also to request a resolution wishing our dear friend Marianne Risner a happy 90th birthday. So everybody was in sync here tonight because that was the request that we had as well, and also to extend his condolences to the family of Mrs. Webb. So thank you very much for that. And before we get into his regular report, I am going to ask Roger if he could show us our quick video clip for this week.
Good evening. Here are some events coming up. The Farmers Market will kick off its summer season Wednesday, June the 13th at the Historical Park from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. and will run through September the 26th. On Wednesday, June the 13th, will be the third annual prayer breakfast with Mayor Burkroff. Coffee and check-in at 7:30 a.m. Breakfast and program begins at 8. Proceeds to go to benefit the Romulus Drug Task Force Scholarship Program. The annual Flag Day ceremony will be held on Thursday the 14th. The proceedings will begin at 11:30 at the Senior Towers and then move across the street to the Senior Center. As usual, the Romulus VFW will hoist the flags. A lunch will follow. Friday, June 15th will be the 27th annual Romulus Rotary Golf Outing at Links and Gateway. Shotgun start begins at 9 a.m. The first free movie in the park will be held on Friday the 15th at the Historical Park. The movie will be the highly critically acclaimed Black Panther. Movie starts at dusk. The Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce will hold its monthly business luncheon at the Hilton Garden Inn on Smith Road, Tuesday, June the 19th. This month's speaker will be Matt Webb, the COO of the Regional Transit Authority. Registration begins at 11:30. Friday the 22nd will be the first Sounds in Downtown. Our first band will be Toppermost, who do a fantastic tribute to the Beatles. Concert begins at 7 p.m. at the Freight House in the Historical Park. To find out more about our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
We will get into the mayor's report now this evening. For item 5A, the first request is for the new 34th District Court building, and then the natural gas contract with Constellation Energy. And should council concur with this request, it does require 2 motions.
So move for the first motion for the 34th District Court, the natural gas contract with the Consolidated Energy.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. This is for the 34th District Court Building natural gas contract. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And then there would be a request for the second motion, and that would be to allow the installation of the gas service line application.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I'd like to
Talley.
make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to execute the Exelon easement agreement, AKA Constellation Energy, for the installation of gas service line and application for gas services to be installed at 11129 Wayne Road.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This was to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to execute the Exelon easement agreement, AKA for the installation of gas service line and application for gas service to install at 11129 Wayne Road. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next action item this evening is a request for an appointment to the Municipal Library Board, and that would be to request the appointment of Candace Lukowitz to fill the term vacated by Sylvia Mikowski. This term would expire on April 11th, 2019.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to appoint Candace Lukowitz to fill the vacated term of Sylvia Mikowski.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for the library board appointment. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Council, if I could just mention, Ms. Mikowski definitely regretted having to vacate this position right now, but unfortunately, due to some family circumstances, the time and how important the library is to her, she just felt it was appropriate to step aside for the time being. So Ms. Lukowitz was willing to step up, so we certainly appreciate that. Before I close out the mayor's report this evening, he did ask me to extend a reminder to the residents of the city that there is a very special study session scheduled for next Monday evening, that's June 4th, at 5:30 p.m., and that will be to discuss a public safety millage, to hear comment before City Council, and he encourages all to attend. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
If
Mr.
I could
Wadsworth.
back up on what Julie was talking about. Could we pass a resolution for Sylvia for her time serving on the board? And she did a tremendous job, and she was really into it. And like Mrs. Watoko said, she had some personal issues with her family that she couldn't serve anymore.
I'll
I'll
support
support
that.
that.
Okay, it's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for a resolution from Ms. Sylvia Mikowski. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Six A1 is the clerk's report. First item is introduction, first reading to amend the Romulus ordinance, section 36-357, notification of concealed weapon.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion for introduction and first reading to amend Romulus ordinance, section 36-357, for notification of carrying a concealed weapon.
Support.
Discussion.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb. This for study session. Just a minute. Sorry. Introduction and reading of amendment, Romulus ordinance section, notification of carrying concealed weapon. Discussion?
Yes, I just wanted to let the people know what we're voting on out there. We discussed this earlier. This is just the first reading, but this is an amendment to an ordinance which basically says that if you are leaving a concealed weapon in your car, it must be locked either in, I'll read it as it's, how about I read it as it says? An individual licensed to carry a concealed pistol or a portable device that uses electromuscular disruption technology in an automobile shall keep such devices in the trunk of the vehicle, or if there is no trunk, in a locked container in the rear of the vehicle. When the owner or occupants leave the vehicle with the pistol or the electromuscular disruption device in the vehicle, they shall lock such a vehicle. So basically, you have to lock your vehicle, as well as if you are allowed to carry a concealed weapon, it must be locked in a container or in the trunk. And so this is the first motion. We'll be voting on this again next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Two is a request for a study session from city treasurer Monday, June 11th at 7 p.m. to discuss the city quarterly investment report.
Chair, I'll make that motion for request for a study session from City Treasurer Stacy Page on Monday, June 11th, 2018, at 7 p.m. to discuss the city quarterly investment report.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb. This is a request for a study session from the City Treasurer Stacy Page on Monday, June 11, 2018 at 7 p.m. to discuss the city quarterly investment report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Couple of for your information items that will conclude the clerk's report. 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, clerk, deputy clerk, chief of staff, and audience. The only thing I just wanted to do is say thank you for the study session, and I have nothing else to report under my agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment. And this is the part of the council meeting where individuals who would like to address city council must raise their hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state their name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chair. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. Anyone not adhering to this rule shall lose their right to address city council. A response to any questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. We do have one written request this evening from Dale McPhail.
Okay, Ms. McPhail?
Thank you, everyone. My name is Dale McPhail. I live at 6305 Carnegie in Romulus. I've been a resident of Romulus for about 11 years now. I love Romulus. I moved from Detroit with my children to raise them because it was a little bit more laid back and more neighborhood-like, so I love my city. My concern is, first I want to thank Ms. Talley. She helped me out when I was having an issue with some public lighting, and she did a great job. She helped us out, and we got that resolved. However, I do have some concerns with the fields that are close to our houses. We've got a couple fields. I live on Carnegie between Horace Ranch and Hazel. And it's a field right there on Horace Ranch, and it's also a field right across from me where they come and they cut the grass. However, branches have fell over the fall and the winter, and they're avoiding those areas altogether. So what they're doing now is cutting around those branches instead of moving them. And now we've got little fields growing in a field. So by the trees, we've got fields that are branching out about 4 or 5 feet from a tree, which is unsightly and it's a hazardous. I have my grandkids, they like to run over there and play, and I don't know what's beyond that height of that grass. And also along the fences, at one time they were doing an excellent job. It's just within the last couple years, it's like they've kind of slacked on it, and it's really becoming unsightly. Like I said, I love my city, and it's well maintained. My block is well maintained. We spend all day Saturday in our yard making it look good, and I hate to look across my field, and I've got little patches of woods. So I did want to address that with you guys, just to make you aware of that. Also, I have another concern. On Beverly, it's a lot of kids in our area, and we have the projects that are right across the street, down the street, and it was a playground on Beverly. They took that away. I'm concerned, wondering, hopefully they'll bring it back, because you had the swing set, the sliding board, and the kids could go and play over there, my grandkids as well. Because my yard's not big enough for a sliding board. So, it would be nice if we can have that back. So that was just a question I wanted to ask you all. Is that something they're going to bring back?
Okay.
And that completes me.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, please, come to the podium.
Yeah, my name is Mel Floyd. I live at 3363 Beverly Road. I was off to go to the post at the mail at the mailbox. The golf balls came from the golf course and hit me on my side. And then a week later, we had a golf ball came through in our flower bed and busted one of our glow balls. I was wondering about the fence of the golf course. We have a lot of golf balls in the yard. That's all my concern.
Good. Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? We'll close that part out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, if I could respond to a couple of those concerns. Our Director of Public Services is actually talking with Ms. McPhail right now. I think he's addressing the concerns over the grass cutting. I would like to address the question raised about the playground equipment that is located in the park that was known as the park at the Housing Commission area. And for the record, unfortunately, that park was technically closed. When the parks were closed back in 2011, at that time, that park was closed. Just recently, within the last year, they were doing an assessment of park equipment, and that equipment that was out there was deemed to be unsafe. And so unfortunately, yes, they did have to remove that equipment for the safety of the children that, we knew were playing at it in the area, and it was being maintained. It is obviously their goal to try to restore something there where we can. We're trying to look into using some grant funds. We've tried to restore all of the parks that we could by using grant funding and, not utilizing tax dollars for that. So they are looking at that as well, but it was absolutely a safety measure in which that they had to remove those pieces that were out there. So we will keep you apprised on that as we're able to work on that with that. And actually, we were trying to work with the Housing Commission also to see if maybe they can support that a little bit, because we know those little people in that area definitely need something to play with. So we'll keep you updated on that. And then as far as the request, the gentleman that spoke about the golf course, I'm going to ask our Director of Public Services, Bob McCrate, to get your information, and we will reach out to the golf course and get back with you on that, okay? Thank you.
The concern of Ms. McPhail. We did address the mayor's office concerning the park when we started getting a lot of calls. And so we definitely will be making sure that something happens, because we know the residents were really upset when that park was dismantled. So the mayor's office was immediately notified.
Yes. Ms. Talley?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this protocol, but Ms. McPhail, we had talked, and I think you asked about bulk pickup. Was that something? And I don't know, do we have that date, or is that something that's coming down the pipeline? Julie, do you know?
There are different dates around that they can schedule. They can also work with Waste Management for bulk pickup. And actually, again, Bob has your phone number, so we can address that with you as well. But
Okay.
Waste Management does schedule that.
Thank
If you
you.
work with them, yes.
John? I do know with bulk pickup, I've used it myself. If you have something other than, that can't go in the garbage can, you can call them and they will send someone out to pick it up.
Number 9 is new business. 10 is communication. 11 is warrant 18-10.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 18-10 in the following amounts. General Fund, $63,550.12. Major Street Fund, $6,049.04. Local Street Fund, $5,300.62. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,500. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $83,960.43. 911 Service Fund, $1,812.64. Law Enforcement, $915. NARC Forfeiture State, $36.02. Library Fund, $6,590.23. Tifa District 2, $600.75. Court Building Construction Fund, $20,157.76. Vining Road Extension, E-Course Construction, $2,125,639.55. Water and Sewer Fund, $378,070.67. Motor Vehicle, $24,750.10. Technology Services, $11,443.70. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $158,097.77. Property and Liability Self-Insurance, $10,000. Revolving Fund, $2,764.56. Current Tax, $5,190.13. Payroll Fund, $80,432.04. Total of all funds, $2,991,861.13.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-10 for $2,991,861.13. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 18-10 will be paid.
12 is adjournment.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.